Hey everybody, today we're going to work on partitioning shapes. So I'm going to show you some examples that will help you do your exit ticket in your class kick assignment. So if we look at number 1A, the first one says, do the shapes in this problem show halves or thirds? So you have to think about how many equal parts are there. And if you notice, there are 2 equal parts on for every shape in every shape. So that means, I'm trying to get a text box here, that means these shapes are halves. There are 2 equal parts, okay? Next, then it says for B, draw one more line to partition each shape above into fourths. So if they already have 2 equal parts, I need to draw one more line on every shape so they will have 4 equal parts. So if I draw, for example, one more line this way, I now have 4 equal parts. Same for this one. I'm drawing it the opposite way that they already did. So they have 4 equal parts. Now this isn't perfectly equal, I see, so I'm going to try it one more time. I'm going to try to get it as close to equal as I can. That is not a good start. One more try. Here we go. That's pretty close. Then on the square, we again have 2 halves. So I'm going to draw my line the opposite way of the one that's already there. So now I have 4 equal parts. And same with this circle. They drew it this way. I will draw one the opposite way. And now I have 4 equal parts. So I went from the shapes being showing halves to now showing fourths. Number 2 says, partition each rectangle into thirds. Then shade the shapes as indicated. So this is actually something that I'm going to do on 2 and 3 that you will do in your class kick exit ticket. So to get a shape to have thirds, I need to draw one less line. So I need to draw 2 lines to make 3 equal parts. So I'm not going to draw them in the middle. I have to separate them a little bit so I can get them as equal as possible. So that looks pretty good. In this first shape, I have thirds. Now, it says to shade the shape as indicated, and they want me to shade all 3 of those thirds. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my color so I can shade it a different color. So there's 1 shaded, 2 shaded, and 3 shaded. So I need to look at the word to tell me how many parts, thirds, and then I look at the number to tell me how many parts to shade. So again, I'm going to divide this first into thirds. So because I need 3 equal parts, I draw 2 lines, 1, 2, and I'm trying to make my parts as equal as possible. Now this shape tells me to shade 2 parts. Now the cool thing is it doesn't matter which 2 to shade. So there's 1 and there's 2. Now I could have shaded 2 different parts, but as long as I shade 2 of the 3, then I'm correct. Next, it tells me again to divide this into thirds. So since I need 2 equal parts, I will draw, or 3 equal parts, I will draw 2 lines. There's my thirds. Now, my directions down here at the bottom tell me to shade 1 of the 3. And again, it doesn't matter which one I shade. I like to do an end just because it helps me, but you can shade any of the 3 that you like. Okay? So again, we partitioned the shape in thirds, and then whatever number they gave us, that's how many parts we shaded. We're going to do the same thing for the bottom, except this time we're going to divide everything into fourths. Now, because this is a circle, it is actually fairly easy to divide it into fourths. We do a line straight down, And we do a line straight across, kind of like a plus sign in the middle. Another way to make fourths in a circle is to draw an X. And that is not equal parts, not even close. I'm going to try that one more time. If you do your X correctly, you will get equal parts. So whichever way is easier for you, you may divide or partition your circle into fourths. For me, the plus sign is easier than the X. Then I need to shade the shapes according to the number they give me. So the first one, they want me to shade all 4 of the fourths. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for the first circle, I shaded 4 fourths. For the next one, they want me to just shade 3. Now again, it doesn't matter which 3. I'm just going to choose 3 that are all together here. So 1, 2, I shaded 3 fourths. Next, they want me to shade 2 of the fourths. So I'm going to pick 2 spots, and I'm going to shade 2 of the 4 parts. I shaded 2 fourths. Last, they want me to shade 1. Now again, it doesn't matter which part I shade, as long as I just pick 1. So here I have shaded 1 fourth. Boys and girls, you're going to do the very same thing that I did on numbers 2 and 3 in your class kick assignment. Take your time and do a really good job. Work really hard to make your parts as equal as possible.